Good morning. What do we have going on with Tesla this morning? We had this huge drop at opening. Everybody was freaking out and panicking. Let's look at a 2-minute chart and see what happened. So yeah, it's one of those things you have to look at longer term. But you can see here we had this drop, and I have candles on the right, and I have there's your candles, and then I have your closing price. We are looking at the 2-minute chart, so we can see pretty much real-time activity. 2 minutes is not a bad chart to see what's happening real time, and then of course you cannot judge what's going on unless you look at longer time frames. So if we go to a 15-minute chart, we can see what had happened in the morning. And we had the drop, got below the 4 simple moving average. We stayed above the 4 until exactly 10:30. When things happen matter. You should have a clock next to your trading chart. We got below the 4, and then we are here. This is the 10-minute chart. I like the 10-minute chart. It gives you continuity, but not super high resolution. And you can see to the right, we have the 15, and right here, we stopped at the 4, and we're above the closing price of the last 15 minutes, which was 10:45. So always look at your longer time frames. Let's look at a 5-minute chart. And here I put candles for people that are used to candles, and we have this red bar just right after opening. We have the green bar here, and then this big green bar. Once it got above the 4 simple moving average, you see the little white dot on each closing price. We stayed above the 4 until this bar right here, which was at 10:35. This is the 5-minute chart, so it closed below, and now we are below for 2 other 5-minute periods, and we're forming a green bar, and that green bar is inside the activity of the previous bar, which means we didn't take it down. We're in the middle. So what do you do here? Wait for the next bar. Is it going to go up or down? We don't know, because this bar opened higher than the closing price. This is important. When does the bar change, and how does it change? 5 minutes, there's less volatility. Here you can just see the closing price. And let's look at a longer time frame. Let's look at a 10 and 15 minute. So our 10-minute, we can see we're on the 4 simple moving average, just below the 2-period average. In the 15, look at this. We have totally 2 different charts looking at the same stock over the same period. Let's zoom in a little bit. So what's happening is, since we're looking at a 10-minute on the left, we do not see the drop at the 15-minute mark. So this is good because you can see conflicts, and you know you have a conflict between 2 charts, so you have to look at other charts. So let's look at what's going on the 30 and the 60. So we had a 30-minute change in direction here, but the 60 is still moving up. So how did you get in? What are you using as your time frame? Do you get rid of the stock? We're still above the 4. Here, we're at the 2 here. The 60 is a little noisy. We're still up on the 60. If you got in down here and you're using the 60-minute chart, you're still good. If you use the 30 and you got in here, you're still good. We're inside. What happens next? Let's look at the 15. The 15 looks up. The 10 looks down because this closed on the 5-minute mark. This bypassed that close. So we have 3 10-minute periods of down action, but this one is inside. Let's look at shorter time frames. What can we see as we move? Okay, shorter, this is the 2 minute. This is harder to trade. There's a lot of things moving. So look at the 4 simple moving average. It's going down. Here, you can see the simple moving average is going sideways. We're going to look at a 4-hour and daily chart. What do we got going on here? 4-hour daily. So we are day up. That's good. But on the 4-hour, the high was 431. That's because we have more resolution in the shorter time frame, and we're still good. Let's look at a 5-minute chart again, and we can see what's going to happen. So right here, we had the inside, then we went up. We'll zoom in. Oh yeah, so this looks like it took out the high of the, no, it didn't. It fell short. Okay, so this is a down bar. We had an inside down. So we could only assume the stock is going to go down for this little period, but on the longer time periods, it's still going up. So depending on what chart you're using, the 5 and the 15, or the 60 is still up. The 60 is a stronger signal than a 30. The 30 is a stronger signal than the 15. So this is probably just a correction. We haven't broken out of the 1-hour chart yet. Let's get the 1-hour chart on here. And right here, the 1-hour is still hour up. As you know, stocks correct. They breathe. You need to determine for yourself your risk factor and when to get in and when to get out. The more information you have, the better you are. A lot of people, if you notice on the 2-minute chart, a lot of people bailed right just before the market opened. Right, well, it was right at the market opening. Yeah, no, just before. And that is fear. And then the buyers came in here after fear was over, and right at 10 minutes in, and they took it over, took it up, and these guys got left in the dust. So let's look at another chart here. Let's go back to the 10-15. All right, so the 10-15, we did take out this point right here, which is the price closed on the 4 simple moving average. So is this price going to close up or down? The 10 is in the same condition. The buyers could come in and start taking it and push it above the 4 simple moving average very easily. We look at the 15. Let's go to 30 and 60. So we're still inside on the 30. We haven't taken out the lower price, and this 4 simple moving average is a nice little guardrail that will cause resistance for this price at some point. If it changes before, we've got 5 more minutes before the top of the hour. And you can see I have my clock on the chart, which is essential for trading because when things happen matter. So let's look at the 5 minutes since we just turned over. What happened to 5 minutes? 5 minutes is up. And if you look, we're inside. So we gapped up a little bit. This one was inside and they took it down. This one's inside. Where are they going? We still have the 2 simple moving average is running below the 4, but we do have the price here above the the closing period on 10:55. So we're 1 minute and 10 seconds into the 5-minute period. let's look at the 3 minute. The 3 minute is also in between. So the 3 minute is looking at a candle down, red down. Tried to correct here and went down. So let's see what the 2 minute is doing. 2 minute, the same thing. Let's zoom in a little bit. And we have this doji. They took it down. Let's look at the 30 and the 60 again. And now we can see the 30 is sitting and living at the 4. We're coming up on the top of the hour in 3 minutes. 3 minutes is critical for direction because it's going to be a new hour and it's going to be a new 30-minute chart. So this hour here, if you look, we didn't break it. What happens at the top of the hour is important. When things happen matter. So at the top of the hour, we're going to have the hour chart, the 30-minute, the 15-minute, the 5-minute, the 3-minute, the 2-minute, and the 1 minute reset. And they're all going to be synchronized for 1 minute. So what happens after that? And we can see right here, we took it below excuse me, we took it below the 2. Let's zoom up a little bit. So people get scared when they look at charts because they're only looking at one chart. You have to look at multiple charts. So if we go to the 90-120, you can see on the 90, we came up above the 2. We went below the 2. We stayed above the 4, and we went up. We have a strong 4 up. We have a 2 that corrected, intersected. We went up. So which way is the stock moving? Depends on which chart you look at. When did you get in? That will determine your next move. What's your risk factor? So here, I believe this is a 90-minute chart. Yep, I got 90 minutes on it. And what's going to happen? We could, after the top of the hour, continue, or we could come down. Right now, the 90-minute is still at its high. It's higher than the previous high 90-minute. So we can use this as a reference. We can see what's happened. This is actually the 2 hours. In the past 2 hours, we are at the high. The 90, we're above the 4. Top of the hour is a good point to decide what you want to do because there's a lot of time frames that change, and a lot of times direction will change at the top and the bottom of an hour. You got to consider it like a new trading day. And let's look at what's going on the 5-minute chart. And here we have inside, down, down. We're going to extend it out a little bit. And we can see this turn here. And you can see the 2 simple moving average gets below the 4. We still
11 a.m.
All right, 11 a.m. You heard it call out. What happens? It's a new trading hour. Let's look at a shorter time frame, see if we can see what happened here. Okay, are we going to take it up or we can continue down? If we look here, since we don't have the candles, we can see the high and the low for the morning, and we're right in the middle. So this is a typical move you'll see. High, low, meet in the middle. If you got down here at the low, when you got in, you're still good. I mean, you still have made a profit. You could have taken a profit when it turned here. You can see right here where it turned, and the 2 and the 4. And if we look at, that was at 10 o'clock. And we could see here, you have this shooter, and then the price started going below. But you can see now, people are trying to decide which way they're going to take it. Are they going to take it up or are they going to take it down? A lot of times the 2 minutes after the hour, you don't see a direction change, or you can see a drastic direction change. All right, let's look at a 90-120 again, and here the 2-hour chart is in the middle. The 4 simple moving average is going sideways. You can see that right here as it lights up. The 2 is at the 4. The price is at the same price as the 2 and the 4, and this price is between the last 2-hour move. And we can see here we are above the last 90-minute move. This gives you a better idea of stock momentum, where it's going. When you look at multiple charts, when you trade, let's look at the 4-hour and the day. And I marked this was the low for this morning. And on the 4-hour, we are still 4-hour up. All right, what's going on the 2-minute? So here, if you're comfortable trading 2-minute chart, go for it. I don't recommend any chart to trade off of. I recommend using all the charts to see the picture. So if we look at the 3-minute chart, we have a doji here on the candle. You see right here, this guy, we took it up, we took it down, we met in the middle, and now we have a green bar forming. That's a pretty strong indicator. You can see here on 3 minutes, we ended up close to the same price. That means it's not selling off anymore. And we look at the 5-minute, and we want the 5-minute to go positive. And right now the 5-minute is still an inside. But it looks like the price opened below. So we need to watch the 5. What's the next thing to trigger? The 5-minute will turn over in 1 minute. Actually 45 seconds. So our 5-minute move is the next thing to see. Is it going to turn red? Or is it going to turn green and take out this high and end up above the 4 simple moving average? And then we can see here, this point will be the same on both charts. 425, 425, 30, 425, 30. And we need to take out this closing point here, otherwise it's just inside. So if that's right there is what we need to take out. So what's going on the 2? I always switch between charts. Actually, I have them all open on my screen, but you're not able to see it unless I keep it down to a 2-chart minimum. And we can zoom up. What do we have? We have the price came down. We have follow through. Below the 2, follow through, follow through. And then we came up, and now we met in the middle. What's going to happen next? We don't know, because we have 1 period, no follow through. This is follow through. When we come down, 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 actually up from here, down, 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 down. We came up, we came down. So we want this guy to end up above this guy. And if we look here, we can see we have a hammer. But we need to see what the next candle is, because the next candle determines what happens. Okay, new candle. What's the new candle going to do? So we ended up red, but it still resembles a hammer, closed above the 4 on the 2. So if we look at the 3, 5-minute chart. Since it's 6 after, we have the same thing happening on the 6. We have a green up. We have the doji, green up, green up. We have the price close above the 4, but we had it close here too, and there was no follow through. So you got to have follow through. This might repeat what happened here. It might go down. We got to take that out right there. All right, let's look at the 15 and the 10. So we have a 10 up, a 15 up. Still inside. So what this is showing me, there is no follow through from this move at the 4. Here's the move at the 4. This is trying to follow through. Now this is trying to follow through here. And we want to look out. Is it going to take out the low on the chart, or is it going to reverse back up and continue going? We have the closing price here for the day. You cannot make probability calls when you look at one chart. This is about probability. The more charts that confirm a direction, the higher the probability. The longer the time frame, the less volatility. So here we have a 90 and a 120. All right, let's see what's going on here. So 2-hour chart, we did make a new high just by barely, but we have a new low, but the period's not over, so it doesn't count. We want to get above, let's put a little line right there. We want to get above there. And when I change charts, you'll see that line on all my charts. Let's see what happens. This one's interesting. So this is, it's a 3-minute. And this bright bar here is an outside bar. It's outside of this. You had a doji, you had a bar up, then you had an outside bar. They took it up, they took it down. If you're playing the strat, that is considered a 3. A 3 is totally unreliable as far as what the next move means, because the buyers took it up, the sellers took it down. Who is in control? You don't know until the next bar is formed. And where are we now? We are forming the next bar. It's going to be 10 minutes after, so we got a new 5-minute chart going to form. Let's go to 5 minutes. Let's see what happens. It's just sitting at that price level that I put. And that price level was the 2-hour previous low. When things happened matter. Is it going to take that low out, or is it going to go up? I converted to the 5-minute because that's the newest time frame with 30 seconds in. Do not trade on fear and greed. Look at the facts. The facts are, what's the current price, what was the previous price, and what does the next candle or opening period start. The people that control the price of the stock create programs to move the stock, and it's based on price aggregation over time. So you need to kind of work like a machine. It's not an emotional It's not an emotional thing, trading. It's a factual. The more information you have, the better you are. So let's look at the 15-minute chart. All right, we got the 10 and the 15. We just turned over 15 30 seconds ago. So the new 10-minute, we went up. Remember that line I drew? We had to stay above that. We turned. Right here, we turned. And now we have it's still 2 down on the 5-minute. Let's see what we got here. So up, we are up on the 15. Took this out here, but we got to close above that. The closing price is the only thing that matters. The computers that do automated trading only deal with opening and closing price. They don't care what happens during that period. All right, let's look at some resolution. 2-minute. Oh, so this is interesting. So we have the 2 goes above, below, above. This is price discovery. We have a lower low. Where's the high? We're going to take this high out. If we take this high out here, that's a good thing. This high took out that. Let's look at the candles. A little bit of a hammer there. We have a nice big green bar. The green bar took it over the 4, but it took it under the 4 here and over the 4. So when you have a bar intersect the 4 simple moving average, it's not a clear direction. You have to have the whole bar over the 4. The 4 simple moving average I use for directional. You can see here, most of the bar is below the 4. The bar is below the 4. The bar is splitting the 4. So now we don't have direction. These are pretty short-term time frames. This is 2 simple moving average. It's a 2-minute. And here we have ambiguity also. It's not clearly above or below. So what's this next bar going to do? The shorter time frames will show you more instantaneous moves or more current, but the longer time frames give you trend. What's going on in the 15-minute? See, we're having this little battle on the 15-minute. Let's look at the 90. The 90, well, the 90 came up from where it was. Remember, we dropped to this point? And now we are up here. Let's look at the 4-hour. All right, the 4-hour. We are nice and high here. Looking good. Let's zoom up a little bit. See if I can zoom it up. And the 4-hour is inside the previous 4 hours right there. So do we have a hard direction on the 4? No. What we want, well, what we do see here is this huge gap between the 4 simple moving average and this high out here. So this appears to be just a correction. Got too far away from the 4 and the 2. That's what a correction looks like. And then here, we can see the flip on the 4-hour. I'm sorry, this here was the daily. I got too many charts open. And here you can see the 4-hour. The 4-hour is far away. The correction, we're above the 2. So based on this chart, the buyers are in control of the 4-hour chart. Let's see what they're doing on the 90 to 120. We have the buyers are still in control. The price has not broken below the 4, but they're battling right here. This is the 90 and the 120. The 90 and the 2-hour chart. So we have this battle right here. Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. It looks like the buyers are going to try to take it out. We can see here they took out the old high. Is it going to stay? Yeah, it looks like it might do that. Let's look at shorter time frames. Let's look at a 5-minute. Oh, we got a nice strong green. That green takes out that wick right there. That's a pretty good entry point right there. We have 2 periods where the 5-minute is higher. Let's look at the 3. All right, the 3-minute, we were straddling. We'll zoom in a little bit. You can see here we're above the 4, below the 4, above the 4, below the 4, but we didn't get a new low. No new low, and it took off. You look at the candles. We had a doji, green. Came here, took it right out. This would have been an entry point if you're day trading or even on a longer time frame. If this is a monthly chart, you would look for this for an entry point. And if your other charts agree with it, you don't want one chart in conflict with other charts. Here's the 2-minute. So we have close here, close here. We got 25 seconds to the next close. What's it going to do? Ultimately, we got to take out 424.67 or close above here, and then it will run. All right, another green bar on the 2-minute. 5-minute, big strong green bar. We now have the 10 and the 15 above the 4. The only thing that matters is that has to close above the 4, and we have a strong signal that the direction is continuing. If we look at the 30 and the 60, what do we see? We see this guy here went below, up, one close, no follow through. This is one move. And now we are at the 4. We want this to close in 10 minutes above the 4, above the 2. But our 1 hour's already indicated the move. Look at, we never hit the 4. Boom, took off. So sometimes trading without candles cleans up what you see. The candles can be distracting. I do use them periodically to understand what the traders are doing with the high-low price during a period. To me, it's only valid on the shorter time frames because that's what I'm looking for entry. If you are looking for longer-term entries, you would probably do this on the 4-hour or the 2-hour to do, a candle in closing price chart. But I do put the 2 simple moving average and the 4 simple moving average on each. The 2 indicates follow through when it's above or below, and the 4 indicates direction kind of real time on that chart. It's not that far of a lagging. It's only looking here at 12 minutes of activity, and we can see a change. If we're looking at the 2-minute, this is only looking at 2 times 4, 8 minutes worth of activity. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's the average of 8 minutes. This one's the average of 4 minutes. What's kind of nice here, we can see the 2 simple moving average never broke the 4. But we still need to look at longer time. We have an inside red here. Let's look at the 5-minute chart. 5-minute chart, we had this nice big green bar. Where is this going to end up? Do not let red bars scare you. You have to look at relationship of the previous bar and then what is the next bar. On the 5, we have the 4 going sideways. We have the 2 simple moving average moving up, and we have the price below the 2 and above the 4 on the 5-minute. And if you just look at the closing price, this closing price is inside the previous. So there's no directional move yet. We have to get below this before the direction has changed. Remember again, I am not giving price and entry positions. I'm showing you what to look for. Use these charts and the chart setup to help you make decisions. Use multiple time frames. When things start getting into exhaustion, you will see a lot more volatility. The way you can see exhaustion is to look at longer time frames. The 15-minute chart will tell you, you start seeing a line, the closing time, boom. See, we don't have exhaustion yet. We still have price discovery. We have a new high, new low, the 10 minutes up here. We have conflict now. The price is in between the 2 and the 4. There's no direction determined, but the 15 minutes still pointing up on price. The 2 is changing. We want that to change. If we go to the 30 and the 60, let's see where we're at. The 30 and the 60, we have a clear 1 hour up. We got the 4 is up, the 2 is up, and the price has a new high. The low of the price did not break the previous low. All your rules of engagement work and are important even when looking at this setup of charts. So when we look at the 30-minute, this good analysis here. So at 9, this was at right at 9:30, we had a low of 419. Then we took it up to 428. That was a $9 move. We met just below the half. So if you put a Fibonacci on this, you would have seen we just broke the half. Where are we now? We are up here. We're taking it back up. This is now looking like a correction and not a directional change. Let's look at the 15 and the 10. All right, the 15 and the 10. We have new 10-minute. No, it's actually 5-minute. So it's a new 5-minute. Let's look at the 5-minute chart. That actually might tell us a little more. So yeah, look at this on the 5. Ooh, we took it down right to the 4. We have this huge hammer. If we bounce off the 4 right here, it's probably going to go. Look what happened here. This is still a correction until it closes below the 4. See how it closed below the 4 up here, below the 4 up here, and then kept going down. Let's look at more time here. Once we got below the 4, the closing price stayed below the 4 till here. Boom. That would have been an entry point when you took that low out. So don't let red bars scare you. Look at the big picture. Put a simple moving average. The 4 simple moving average, what I've determined is a directional change. Look at that, the bottom hit. That 4, The red bar is turning into another hammer. We coming up to the bottom of the hour. We have 4 minutes. Actually, 3 minutes and 45 seconds going. Look at the time on my chart. Time's important. Let's see what's going on shorter time frames. Okay, we have an inside on the 2 minute. So we have a lot of conflict on the 2 minute. We're coming up to the bottom of the hour. We have a high, a low, a lower high. Where's this one going to stop? We're above the 4, below the 4, below the 4, above the 4, below the 4. So we're at 27 after. So the 2 is still forming. I'm putting both these charts so you can compare looking at closing price versus looking at how far the price moved in that 2 minute period. I was mentored by Oliver Velez, and he loved the 20 simple moving average and look at charts and describe what happens. Since I'm looking at multiple time frames, the 20 is not as critical because you're seeing the 4 simple moving average on every time frame. So less information on your chart will make it easier to make a decision. Here we have the 10. The 10, we came down, came to this point, and I said if it bounced off that, that's what we wanted to do, and it still has strength because we used that from the, what chart did I pick that from? That was off the 1 hour chart. Let's go back to the 1 hour chart. See, that was the low for the 1 hour chart. Look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour is still strong. Use your 1 hour for directionality, and if you're day trading, never bet against the 1 hour. I mean, you can bet against the 1 hour using the 1, 2, 3 minute chart, but if it doesn't follow through, this 1 hour is more enforceable than the shorter time frames. Like if we go to the 2 hour and 90 minute, what do we see there? Is that reversed? I don't see a reverse. Look at the 4 hour. Is that a reversal? On the 3 minute, you can't tell. The 5 minute, it's waiting. It's waiting. But if we go and look at a longer time frame on the 3 minute, what do we have here? Oh, well, you could sort of see that we are, well, I'm actually at the 5 minute. Let's go at the 5 minute. Okay, on the 5 minute, there's the low, there's the high, there's a little reversal, was right at the point I said was critical. And theoretically, we can see based on the 4 simple moving average, this has reversed on the 5. We can see here, is it going to hold? What's the next closing price? We will know in 10 seconds. What happens at 11:30? Does it hold? Does it take off? Or does it go back down? We know. So let's look at the 30-minute chart. Here we have the 30-minute chart right here. The 30 got below the 4. Here's the new price. Is it going to shoot above here? That's what we got to see. It's above the 2. There's the 2 right there. Is it going to go above the 4? So what I'm showing you here is how all the charts interact. When you get rid of the candles, you can see more what's happening with price versus these simple moving averages. The simple moving averages kind of give you a look on the trend. We can see here on the 30, we had a correction on the 2 simple moving average, but the 4 has been going up since 9 o'clock. We see here on the 4, on the 1 hour, we went sideways, and now we went up. The 90 and the 20, we are up on both. The 4-hour, the simple moving average on the 4 SMA is up. The week and the month is up. The quarter and the year is up. Is there any indication this price is going to collapse before the next quarter, the next month, or even the next couple weeks? So let's look at the week. So we have a weekly and monthly chart. So follow the weeks. Correction. Right here we got above the 4, right? And then we had a week up, a correction. A week up, sideways, a week up, sideways, a week up, a week up. So today's Friday. Is this going to close below 384 before 4 o'clock or even before midnight? That's what you have to say to yourself. Is that possible? I'm going to short this because we had a new high, and I know every time you have a new high, the price drops. How do you know that high was the final high? According to the weekly, I don't see any weakness in this. Now, come January 2nd, yeah, it might want to reverse. The 4-hour, the daily, up. The 90, the 120, up. Okay, so this is the only chart here, the 30-minute and the 1-hour, because we had a correction, where we got to take out this high. So at 11 o'clock, where are we? Are we going to be above 428.51, or are we going to finish inside? Way above the 2. Can we expect a correction as possible? Let's look at a 5-minute. All right. So on the 5, look at the white dots on every candle. Closes above. Now here, you can see we tested the 4 simple moving average at close. All right. Boom. And what happened? It went one more big green bar. Then it did close below the 4. Closed way down, corrected to the 4 right here, and closed way below the 4. And then right here, we closed down at that one point of support that I told you, which was based on my 1-hour chart. And then we closed just below the 4, above, at, and way above. There's a lot of guys that tell you they can tell you what the candles are doing. I don't understand. I just look at price aggregating over time. That's what this simple moving average is. It takes all the volatility and puts it into a simple line. Notice here how the 2 simple moving average got above the 4 right here. You can see it. 2's down, 2 gets above, 2 stays above. That's 5-minute chart. Came to it, up. All right, let's look at the 15-minute. All right, the 15-minute. What do we got going on here? We came up from the hour down. This was 11 o'clock. This was 11:15. This was 11:30. Boom, came up. Are we going to take out the 10:30 price at 11 o'clock? When things happen matter. 15-minute. We have 2 15 minutes up. 30 and the 60. What do we see on the 30 and the 60? We saw the closing price above the 4 simple moving average after bouncing off this point here on the shorter time frames. The shorter time frame bounced here, but we did close above it. So you have to trust the closing price as being more important than the volatility throughout the time. If we look at the 90-minute and the 2-hour, we had a correction. This is interesting. We had a correction at 7, and the direction was already determined by 8:30. And this took out this high, but when it opened, the volatility took it down to here, and then it immediately got here and here. So all these guys got stuck. Let's look at the shorter time frame again. In the 2-minute opening, let's go to opening. Oh yeah. These guys here, this is emotional trading. They were trading based on the fact that the price went up, we had a new high, it's got to go down, so I'm going to short it. And then what happened? Boom, they got caught and they had to buy. Otherwise, they're risking losing 416. It went up to 430. That was, what, $15? That would have been a hell of a loss. Let's look at the 2 currently. And the 2 is a little more erratic. You can see price discovery here. We had a lower high, and then this is how you can tell where people meeting in the middle. High, low, not so high, not so low. And look at the next 2 minutes. Got above. You could have entered at 424.98. And it moved all the way up to 427. Oops, didn't want to do that. These are real-time charts from Thinkorswim. All right, have this big red bar here. Is that the end of the move? I don't know. Let's look at the big picture. Can't tell from one chart. Oh, is that the end of the move? I don't know. That's I'm looking at, this is the 3-minute chart. So we took it down, took it up, took it in the middle, and we're still up. So now we're between this high and this low. Is that the end of the run? If you had a Fibonacci from here to here, that's 50% of the move back up. I'm going to look at a 5-minute chart. And on the 5, you can see we took it down, we took it up, we took it halfway down, and we're halfway up. But you notice when we came up, we never broke the 4. Look at here. We took it down, we got above the 4, and it wasn't until this point. Then it went down, and then look at this. This is just simple amazing when you get rid of the candles and you can see just the closing price and how the relationship of the closing price and the 4 simple moving average, you can almost write in stone what to do. And here we go again. Let's reset this chart. This morning's activity, we notice all down here, it's just doesn't have a clear direction, but this morning when the stock market opened, the direction was achieved. And here we are. So this is the 5-minute. We're stuck in the middle of this move here. We've had 2 5-minute periods. This just opened. But until the price closes, we don't know where this is going to settle. Is it going to settle above or below the 4? But the 4 is going sideways. Price is going down. The 2 simple moving average is going down. So to monitor this, you might want to look at a shorter time frame. So there is the 2-minute. Now we have 1, 2, 3 periods on the 2-minute below. And we can see the green little bar formed here, and then the price is below. According to this 4 simple moving average on the shorter time frame, it's going down. On the 5-minute, it's going sideways. On the 3 minute, we just have this one here, but this broke. So at the end of this 3 minutes, which would be, what time is it now? 41. Yeah, in 30 seconds. Where is this going to end up? When things happen matter. So we got 30 seconds before this 3 minute finishes out. Let's zoom into the candles a little bit. So we only have one period. Maybe this is testing. This is testing. Is the seller's going to take over? Is that a test on the 3 minute? Let's see. So we're 42 past the hour. What does it do? Boom. Okay, we're going to have a new candle. There's the new candle. I'm going to try to take it down. Try to take it down. Let's see what's doing on the 5 minute. 5 minute, still, this is still in play. We still got another 2.5 minutes before this turns over. Let's look at the 15. 15, we are at, and inside on the 15, there's high, low, inside, we're at the 4. This is a stronger indicator than the shorter time frames. The 15 minute, that's the 10. The 15 minute is we have 15 up, stronger than the 10. The 10 is still above the 4. 15 is still above the 4. Let's go to the 30. We're strongly above the 4 on the 30. We have 2 consecutive moves up. This is still in play for another 15 minutes. And then if we look at the 1 hour, I'm sorry, that was the 1 hour. Now this is the hour and a half. And the 2 hour is up. Looking at longer time frames will keep you in the game longer because the volatility is out of the picture. We have 90 minute up, 90 minute up. We have 2 hours, 2 hours up, 2 hours up. Back to the 30 and the 60. We have 2 30-minute periods up. Long one here. That's a big bar. If we converted, let's just convert this to a bar. Let's make it a bar. Boom. So we had this volatility here, but we're a nice green bar. And if we look, that's why I don't like bars on the longer time frames. Kind of hard to see what the heck's going on. Let's put my area back in, and we can see what's going on. All right, we need another 20 seconds for a new 15-minute bar. Let's look at the 3-minute chart, because the 3-minute chart is going to roll over at 11:45. And so far, we're up. See right here. Are we going to go back above the 4? That's the question. If you're in long, that's what you want. Okay, new 15-minute. Let's look at the, we can look at the 5. All right, so the last dot right here, that is the new 5-minute. This is interesting because this is the 10 and the 15. So the 10 did not roll over. It has 5 more minutes to roll over. 15 is currently down from its close. This is kind of the point where you got to wait and see. Who's going to take it over? Is the buyers going to continue on, or did they give up? When the second hand and big hand hit top of the hour, bottom of the hour, there's more of a chance of a directional change. Little disclaimer here. I am just showing you historical data. It's already moved by the time we describe it. So what I'm showing you on these live event is how to judge probability and understanding when the price and time has reversed. The best entry is always at a reversal. It's going to be the least riskiest. How do you tell reversal? When multiple time frames change at the same time. I'll show you what I am looking at. So this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at 15 different time frames, and you'll see the 2, the 3, and the 5. I do have candles showing, but I can see the year all the way to the minute. And then I just switch between them. All right, so we're looking at the 3 minutes. So we are down just a hair from when the 15-minute rolled over. Let's put a line, a price point there, just so we keep track, because now we have 15-minute going sideways. What is it going to do? We don't know. So we zoom up here to the 3 minute and look what we got going. We have the price went up, went down. It's a doji met in the middle. So this next move is a good indicator because the buyers and sellers could not make a decision on the last 3 minute move. And we can see here, we are still below the 4. Who's going to take it? Let's look at a 5-minute chart. What is going here on in the 5? Okay, the 5, there's the 4, we're below the 4. We got a lot going on. I'm going to take this price off so we can see better. All right, 5 is still below the 4. It's trying to get above the 2. This is conflict. 5 minute is conflicted. We got to get above this 5 minute here, and things will start to look up again. Green bar forming on the 5. Let's look at the 3. The 3 looks very interesting. Look at this. 2 3-minute time periods. No change in price. Opening and closing price was the same. And now we have this big green bar. And this green bar is an outside bar. It went outside the opening and closing. Took it down, took it up. It's a 3. It's a big move. Boom. We're going to take that out right there, I think. Let's look at the 2. Ooh, look at this volatility on the 2. By just looking at the closing price, we can see every close. That was a higher high, that was a lower low. That was expanding price discovery. Then the next 2 minute was inside, and then we took it up. And we see the 4 and the 2 and the price going up. We got a new 2 minute. It's 10 minutes to the hour, so the 10 minute has changed and the 5 minute has changed. Let's look at the 5 minute chart. This is a lot of work, isn't it? There's the 5 minute chart. Ooh, so we still, even on the 5, we got price discovery going on here. So these two charts, the 5 and the 2, are still doing price discovery. The 3 is not doing price discovery. It is doing a side move. And now it's still going sideways. It's at the 4. Now it could hit this 4 and go down. We will know in 10 seconds. Where is it going? Big shooter here. 10 seconds. Where is it going to end up? 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Where's the new bar form? Boom. It formed above the 4. Critical. Above the 4. Above the 2. What's going to happen? Did you see that jump? Oh, gee. I didn't know that was going to happen. Look what happened here. Computers control the price at the end of a period. Retail buyers cannot make this jump the last 5 seconds of the period. Let's see what happens. Zoom in, zoom in. Let's look at the 2 minute. This is one of those things you got to zoom in with the microscope. And we can see, if we don't take this green out right here, that will go green up. Here we are right here, below the 4, the 2 is up, the price is higher than the previous. This price is higher than the previous. We close right there, just below the 4. So this might still be moving sideways. Here we are right here. Let's look at the 3 again. Okay, we had the 3. This is an outside, this green bar is outside that activity. So we had a 3. This is also a 3. It's above this, the entry. So still don't know where it's going. we have this clear down here, but let's look at the 30 and 60. 30 and 60, do we see the price going down? I don't see it going down. I see it going sideways here, and maybe that's what it'll do the rest of the day. We are up here on the 1 hour. Let's look at the 90 and 120. Look at what happened here. The 90, oh, this is just bumped up. This is the 120. Do you short this stock right now? Hell, I wouldn't do it. Not with these long time frames so strong. But a lot of people will. A lot of people look at these shorter time frames and say, I'm going to short this stock, and then they get stuck. Here's the 2 minute chart. So this is, we got red, green, green, red, red. There's no clear direction. The 4 is going sideways. And here we can see some follow through here. But for follow through, you need 2 closing periods. And here we do not have a single follow through on the 2 minute. Okay, we do have a follow through here, but this might be the end of the sellers. Let's look at, I'm going to look at the 15 minute and 10. And what do we have here? Is the 10 will close in 5 minutes. And we had this push here. Some sellers came in. They got scared. I don't know. Who knows what their problem was, but we're still above here. Are the buyers going to continue taking it up? Let's look at the 5 minute. Okay. So here we see we have a clear direction of up, 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 clear direction of down. Here it's pretty clear until we get to the end. Let's zoom up. So this is an indication the stock is going more sideways than up and down, and this is very difficult to trade. This is price discovery. Now, all these things I'm talking about, they also work with long time frames. Quarterly, yearly, monthly, weekly, daily. So if we look at the 3 minute, a little more resolve on direction. And here, if you're playing a 3 minute, you see how the price went sideways. It closed just above the 4, and then the next 2 periods were below. We can see right here, boom, boom, sideways. We tried to take it up, failed, went down. This is much clearer on a closing price chart with just 2 and 4 simple moving averages. So does it look like the price is crashing? So we got low, high, meet in the middle. Low, high, meet in the middle. Take it down. Are we going to break this point here? Let's look at a 3060. All right, 3060. What do we got? The 30 never broke the 4. Got above the 2. Right now we're inside the previous 30 minutes. The current high on the 1 hour is at the previous high. We want to stay above this high. We got 3 more minutes before this 1 hour chart rolls over. When it rolls over and we don't make this high, maybe it's going to correct. Maybe it's going to go back down to here. That's possible. It's called exhaustion. Let's look at the 90 and the 120. See, this is conflict. The 90's going up. 90's coming down. The 120's still going up. This is still in play. If you got in down here at yesterday, do you get out? That's still in play, still going up. Let's look at short term. I'm going to wait 5 minutes. We got 2 minutes till it rolls over. And on the 5-minute chart, we have a new low right here. We took it above that. Follow through requires at least 2 in the same direction. So we have 1 5-minute run from here to here. What's the next 5 minutes going to do? Is it going to continue down? Or is it going to reverse back up here? 1 minute and 15 seconds will determine that move, because that's when this resets itself. It's always better to make decisions when the chart resets. When you try to do it right in the middle of the time period, you have no idea what's going on. Don't get excited when you see the bars start to move. Make a decision when the time is appropriate. Let's go back to the 2 minute. All right, we got some correction here, still going down. We've got a new low. If it closes above there in 45 seconds, that might mean something. All right, look at over here. We got a hammer. New hour, 25 seconds. Where is this going to close?
12 p.m.
All right, 2 minute. We closed above the 4 and they immediately took it down. We closed above the 4, they immediately took it down. Are the buyers going to hold it up? So if we look here, we have a doji. Took up, down, met in the middle. If you're using candles, if you're using closed, we got this. Let's look at the other time frame, see what is in sync here. So this is the 3 minute. This is interesting. So we closed at the 4. Now we're above. That's a good indication. Let's go back to the 2. You got to look at all your charts. Now we're above. What's that candle going to look like? It's another hammer. It's a hammer on the 3. The 5 still has to break this 4. And it looks like we got another hammer. So we got 3 hammers on 3 of the shorter time frames. Is this price going up or going down? Let's look at the 15. 10 and 15. All right. The 10 is below the 4. The 15 is right at the 4. Are we going to take it up past 425.94? This is a point where the buyers and sellers are meeting in the middle. There's the high, there's the low on the 15-minute chart. Let's look at the 30. That's going to give us a better indication. Wow, this is definitely clearer. We have the 30 up, down, and every 30 period is a little higher, and we're above the 2 and above the 4. I'm going to let you watch this for a little bit, and we're going to put the 5, and I'm going to take a break. We'll be back in a minute. So what do we got going on the 5-minute? Zoom up. We had the price close below the 4. Now we're above the 4. You can see right here, closing price. If we look at the 2, we have nice follow through. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 minutes. Every closing price was higher than the previous. As opposed to here, where every closing price was totally different. This is buying. This is nothing. There's no, big buying. This is just people hitting stops and stuff. So this is what we want to see. Let's look at the 3-minute. 3-minute, 3 green bars. 5-minute. Got a green bar. We're still above the 2's above the 4. Price is above the 4. Let's look at 10, 15 minute. Oh, nice move here. So 10, 15 minute. We have the 10 is now above the 2. The 15 minute reversed above the 4. That's good. We want to take out 425.86. Look at the 90 and the 120. Do you see that turning down? Would you short this? If you're playing this emotionally, would you short it? Not if you have the facts. Let's look at 5 minute again. Okay, looking at the 5 minute, we have a low, a high, a higher low, and we're right here now. 426.84. 426.84, that's the magic number we got to take out. The more information you have, the easier it is to manage risk. The more information you have, the easier it is to make a decision. If you're looking at the 5 minute chart all day, can you make a decision now? I mean, it's easy this morning to hear, but now what is going on? You got in here, you stayed for this down, and you're here. Do you sell? It could go back up to here. But by looking at multiple charts, it will help you make a decision. 2 minute. So we see here, we got below the 2, above the 2, now we're below the 4. Do we make a decision now? We've got to see where this closes. Where this closes matters. If it closes here and it just turned over, it's going to run. If it closes above here, this was just a correction. Boom, boom. Look at these candles. They kind of scare you a little bit, but look at that. It's not going to close. Here's an 8-hour chart set up. If you're doing longer term trading, let me fix it so you can see it. All right. All right, so now, not all these are set up the same. Some of them have more information. But you can see I have a 30 minute, a 1 hour, a 4 hour, a daily, a week, month, quarter, year. This is kind of like the big picture. This is how you would scout out stocks that are moving or stuck or whatever. But full time frame, and then let's look at the 2 minute. 2 minute, we had a correction right here. See it right there. Boom, boom. Stayed above the 4. Kept running. Remember I said if we take this out, we're going to run, and we did. What's the 5 minute doing? 5 minute, look at that 5 minute. That's a computer buying. You think? Look at every 5 minutes. It is aggregating the price over time at the same percentage. Look at the 2 simple moving average. Look at the 4. This is where you want to be. You want to get in. And this was after, let's see what the time, at 12 o'clock. Boom. This is a trader's dream when the price is aggregating perfectly. This happened somewhere around 12. Let me get 11:50. They started buying. Boom, 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 boom. So when do you get out of this trade? When they get out. Watch them. You'll see it. You'll see when they stop trading. You need to keep an eye on the 5-minute chart, because if you look at the 2, it's starting to run. So you'll see a correction. As long as it doesn't break this 2-minute line, and it's only run for a few 5-minute periods. So, I mean, you can get out and take profit at this point. I mean, nothing wrong with that, taking a profit, but the trade ain't over until the closing price goes below the 2 on the 2-minute chart. Goes below the 4. Let's look at the 5-minute. So you see the 5, this is a little stretched. This is the speed that they're buying. Let's zoom it up a little more. And you can see it's a little away. So there's going to be some correction here. We got 2.5 minutes before this is over. Look at the 2-minute chart or the 3-minute. And we got a correction going. 2-minute, 3-minute, 5-minute, still moving here. Let me zoom in on the candles. You got to figure out which chart are they buying or selling on. Is it the 1 hour? Is it the 15-minute? They are buying using aggregation on the 5-minute chart. Retail traders cannot create this chart. Look at perfect green candles. The closing price is perfectly in line. If I was to do a trend line, come on. What do we got? Boom, boom, boom. All right, did they stop? We got 1 more minute to the 15-minute mark. So if you look at the 2-minute chart, you will see that the price was starting to run away. And they slowed the buying down, or they slowed shares. They sold shares to maintain their price aggregation over time program, whatever that is. In the 5-minute chart, we're still perfect. 3-minute chart, we got some correction. 2-minute chart, you can see, well, we took it down. Where is this last one going to end? 5-minute is off a little bit. Let's see if they take it below the 2. Right now, the 2 is down. If it stays above the 2, that's what we want to watch. What is it doing? We just had a new 5-minute roll over, so this might be the point to get out. If you took this run up, it's up to you. We got a doji. If it breaks this 4, that might be it. Yeah, looks like the run is cooled down. That's what you want to look for. You want to look for price aggregating over time. Here's a big shooter. So that's pretty much the indication that it went out. This period right here, which was 12:10, was the last time the push happened. It still could come back alive. Let's see. This might just be a correction. Oh, this is just a 1 minute drop. All right. I'm going to keep the 5 minute on. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to let you watch this. I'm going to take a break. Okay, back. Well, 5 minute held up. Did take it down below the 4, but look where it closed. It closed up here, and now it's here. So let's look at the shorter time frames. Let's look at the 3. So gives you a better idea short term what's happening. They took it up, took it down, held up. Did take it down below the 4, but look where it closed. It closed up here. Back on. And here we go. So the 3 minute, you can see where the price closed above the 4, and now we're below the 3. Is it still running? Let's look at the 2. 2 minute. There's a little more volatility in the 2. Back to the 5. We look at the 5. The price, every closing period, has been in with this line. The 5 will close in 2 minutes. Will it close up here? Interesting. So this is how multiple time frames will give you a better picture of what's going on. Let's look at the big picture. So what's the 10 and 15? So we're down on the 10. 15 is still up. We're up on the 60 and the 30, the 90 and the 120. We're holding strong. The 4-hour and the daily, we're up on both. Week and the month, we're up on both. Quarter and year, we're up on both. Wall Street bets guys are going to short it. I guess they don't look at current information on how the stock is aggregating up over time. Look at this nice little correction here. We're still above the 2. Remember I said the closing price is the most important thing to make your judgments on. The computers are programmed based on closing price aggregating over time, and the only thing they can look at is the closing price. Here is the closing price, and now it is 5 minutes before the bottom of the hour. It's dropped. Is it going to take out the 4? Or is this just a correction? Let's look at the 3. The 3, we can see this little dance around the 4. And the 2 minute, we have follow through on the 2. Boom, 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 boom. Got to figure out where the follow through is. It's on the 2 minute. Right here to right here. All right, so the 10 and the 15, the 10, we got to watch this support point right here, the 4. We want to close at the bottom of the hour above this point here. The 5, we're already below it, so it don't count. Well, yeah, it could close that. So we want to close at around 127.50, and yeah, that's going to put us in a good spot. We want to close above 127.50, which is indicating we are closing on a stronger buy potential than sell potential. 10 and 15. 15's up. 10 is slightly down. 30 and 60's blasting away. 5 minute chart. What is going to happen at the bottom of the hour? We got 4 minutes. 4 minutes to this little white dot gets above the 2. And we look, we got a nice little hammer right here. We took it down to 426.62. And if we look at the 10 minute, 426.62 is right here. So it bounced off the 10-minute 4 simple moving average and came back up. 426.62. Is right here, just below the 4. So is it going to blow through the 10-minute or simple moving average, or will it close above at the bottom of the hour? Now, if you're doing this, you're going to have all these charts open at the same time, like I do. So you can this is kind of a more complex chart. This is a 2-minute chart with all kinds of simple moving averages. When you get good, you can look at everything on one chart. So this is the 20 simple moving average, the 8 simple moving average, the 100. Then we have the 4 and the 2. And we can see how this is riding down. It's hitting the 20. 20 is a strong guardrail. So is a high probability we'll have something like here. It's going to test this point, see if it's going to blow through, maybe bounce off. Let's look at a 5-minute version of this. And if we look at the 5-minute version, 426.25 is the 8 simple moving average. So the 2 is above the 4 is above the 8 is above the 20 is above the 100. 426.48. 426.28 is right here. 426.28 is right here. So we might come down below this 20. And our hope is, based on the longer term, we'll bounce off and take off. So that is the bottom of the hour, 12:30. Let's see what's going to happen. You always have to look at the next move. This is my complex chart with all kinds of stuff on it. And if you're good at looking at charts, maybe this is the way to go. Or we just look at the simple 5-minute chart. All right, so the 5-minute chart opened here. And we immediately jumped down to here. So what is the next move? Let's not have this so blown up. So look what happened with the 2. So the 2-minute chart, we had this, we had the hammer, we had the doji, then we had down. So the doji, there was activity going up and down, trying to figure out what direction to go. Then we have bottom of the hour, it's this strong move down. Let's look at some other charts. So what's indicator we have? We have on the 15-minute, you see the 4 simple moving average. Right here. Look at the price. It's sitting there. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this trend line because it is insignificant at this point. And where is the price? Let's look at the 30 and the 60. All right, 60 still strong. We're still hour up. We got 30 minutes left. Here's our 30-minute. So we're in the middle between the two 30-minute charts. So see 30 here. So this is the middle between this high and this low. The 60 is hour up. So far, the price is above the 4. The 4 is pointing up. The 2 is pointing up. We did have 2 periods where the price, or 3 periods where the price was below the 4. It successfully went above the 4 and held up strong. We can see we bounced off the 4. So is this going down, this price? Would you bet against these charts based on what they're telling you? Look at all the information available. Look at what's going on the 30, the 60. The 60 is a good indication of the long-term trends if you're day trading. All right, so we got the 15 here. It's bouncing around a little bit. We had 2 moves here up. We had 1 in the middle. We're going sideways. Let's put a number on here sideways. So this is the low. See if it stays above that point. So when I change the charts, actually I can lower this a little bit. I'm going to put that right there. Okay, so that is going to break the 4 simple moving average on the 15. For reference, just pretend we got into this down here at 422. We're now at 426. We had up movement the entire day. We did have, this move here that was higher, but we don't want to get in and out. We're just looking for long-term play in this. If we had a trend line, let's put a trend line on the 30-minute. And if we had a trend line on the 30-minute, what is this showing? This is showing price aggregating over time. Let me fix this a little bit. There we go. I like that. So it's showing price aggregating over time on a 30-minute. We had this big push and there was a correction. Now this makes more sense. So we got the 4, the 2, the price is sitting at the 2. Shorter time frame, 10, 15. 10-minute chart, 15-minute chart. What do we see? Do we see we have to sell? Do we see the buyers giving up? We see the buyers just slowing the price going up over time. The only thing the buyers care about is the maximum move. What is the percentage increase? And they need to control that. They're buying shares up, millions of shares, and they got to buy those shares no matter what, but they want to buy them at the best price. So they have to control how fast the price aggregates. Just remember that. So let's look at the 5-minute chart. And a 5-minute chart. Yeah, we can see went too fast, slow down, bump, bump, and it's pretty much bouncing around this trend line that I have. Is it time to short this? Oh, I feel it's gonna go down. You can't make decisions based on emotion. You have to look at what is going on with all the players. All the players are in different rooms. Some of them are in the 5-minute room, some are in the 1-hour room. And here we have this really nice buy. Would have been nice to have been in there. We have a correction. We have 3 5-minute closings that are about the same price. Which way is it going? Let's zoom in. Let's see what kind of candles we got. So we have a little bit of a doji hammer. Where is this next place going to be? Let's look at a 2-minute chart. So price got way here. The big drop, all of a sudden it corrected up to here. What is that telling you? 2 minutes, 4 minutes. It went at the 4, above the 4, it meets in the middle. That's a pretty big move. Here's the candles. Where's this next 2 minutes going to end? It just opened. It opened right here. See right here. And now, boom, it didn't hit the 4. It's trying to get above the 2. They took it up. They took it down. Where is it going? Get a different picture. Look at the 3-minute. The 3-minute, we had 3 periods up. 1, 2, 3. Got above the 4, just barely. Where's the next 3-minute period going to close? Look at the 2-minute. This is the decision-making time. We had a higher high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower high, boom. We do have a lower low here between here and here. But let's look at something on the 3-minute chart. What do we have on a 3-minute chart? We have price aggregating at the same rate. And if we look at the relationship of the 2 simple moving average, what do we have? Let's look at the 5. 5 is interesting. We got this really nice hammer here. We had 2 periods close below the 4. Now we're above the 4. Look at the 3. We got these nice green candles. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Let's look at the 10 and the 15. And we look at the 10 and 15 and look what happened. We had this happen right here at our little trend line I made. We went too fast. We came back. And then on the 15, we hit the trend line, went up. And you can see how the price is vacillating around our trend line. So it looks like our buyers are still in the game. Okay, we've been watching the 5-minute chart, and what do we see? We see the 4 simple moving average going sideways, the 2 going up, and the stock going up. We see a hammer, 5 up, 5 up. 2-minute chart shows a little more detail. But we show the price since this green bar has always closed above the 4 simple moving average. The price here on the 3 is up, 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 up. Look at that. 10, 15 minute. 15 minute. We're bouncing around a little trend line we made. And we look at the 30 and the 60, and we are aggregating right on the 30. Look at that. People are buying in. This is a big buyer here that's trying to keep the price from getting away as they load up on shares. Back to the 2-minute. So now we have from the bottom 425, 428. That's a $3 move. If you watch the closing price instead of watching the volatility, you will probably stay in longer, and good chance you'll make better decisions, because a stock like Tesla goes all over the place. I mean, right here, look at that. You know, you got scared and sold, or you put a stop below the big green bar and play that route. And then once you're here, if you get in here and here, your exposure is 27.22, 26.50 cents. Always manage your risks. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nice move on the 3-minute chart. We a little extended here. See if there's a little correction. Let's look at the 5. We just had a 15 roll over. And on the 5, we have this doji, took it up, took it down. Where are we? Right here, take it back up. These corrections are because the price is aggregating too fast over the time that's programmed into the trading computer. So this is normal. But look at this 5-minute chart, up, 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 up. Got it a little too fast. They let it cool down, and then they got back in. Let's see where this goes. We have a high here, and I look at the highs at closing. All right, so if we look, this is something to keep an eye on. Have a high here. This high did not get as high at closing, so that's beware. We should have taken that out, come back down, but we didn't. So that's a lower high. Where do we go? That is a higher high. Now that line will be on all my charts. All right, 10, 15. All right, so on the 10-minute, You can see we're getting lower as the 10-minute. Our new high did not hit the old high. I use these for determining if the price is going to continue to move or did it stall. None of this is written in stone. Of course, I am doing this for entertainment purposes only. Please do not take this as investment advice. So here's what's nice about these charts without the candles. You don't see volatility. You see the closing price. Look at over here. You have all these freaking tails, which will scare you. You see this price dropping. Oh my God, I got to sell. You sell here and then the price moves. So depending on when you got in, if you got in at this turnaround, don't worry about it. If you got in here, maybe you need to worry about it. But if we look, and I was to draw a trend line, even right here, let's see what we got. All right, does that make sense? Let's look at it on a 5. Yeah, it makes sense on the 5. I am going to get rid of these. It's got too many marks on here. I got to clean it up a little bit. We're still moving. All right. So we have price discovery. It's a lower high, same high. Let's put a line on that thing. Where is that? That is kind of resistance, I would say, if that's when you call it. There's no, is there any more buy orders above that? A little bit higher here, not much here. So this might be the end of the run of the 5-minute, but 10 minutes is a new hour. Somebody might come in and say, hey, I'm going to buy some shares. So you can't say it's over until it's over. 3-minute chart, 5-minute chart, 60, 10 and 15. So the 10 and 15, we do have a higher high, 15 higher high. Is that going to break below there? That's the old low. Or is it going to reverse when it hits here? .30-minute. So we're higher than the last 30-minute close. It's 20 minutes into the 30-minute period, and we are up. Back to the 5 minutes. All right, so if what I see is what I think, this is all consolidated to the upside, but we don't know until we know. Look at the 2-minute. So we see this price discovery. We took the price up here, took the price here. That's the high, the high. Are we going to take that high out? Looks like it's going to do it. Let's see. 7 minutes to top of the hour. New hour, new players. Two-minute chart, lots of noise. Let's look at a 10-minute. 10 and 15. What do we see here? We see the 4 going up, up, up. We see the price going up, up, up. The 2 going up, up, up. Same here on the 10. We do not see any weakness on the 10 and the 15. And now if we look at the 5, we see this big push. It's 35 seconds till the 5 flips. This could end up. This could be a big freaking shooter and come back down to here. It's possible. Don't chase the green. If you wanted to get in, you should have gotten in at my line at 427.74. What the hell is that? 477.74. That was the entry point, not here. Don't chase the green. That'll get you in trouble. Never chase the green. You want to anticipate the move and get in before it moves. Your risk is less if you can anticipate the move. It doesn't move, you get out. And so what we got on the 5 minutes is we have up. They tried to take it down in the wick, but the body of the candle is more important. And I said, be careful, they don't bring it back down. So let's look at the 3-minute. What do we got going on? New 5-minute chart. These are going to roll over at different times. So the 5-minute. 4 minutes to the top of the hour. What is the 3 doing? The 3 is looking like a shooter. They took it up, they took it back down. The 2-minute is a shooter with a inside bar. Boom, boom, boom. Remember I said, don't chase the green. You want to get in at this point here, not after it moves up here. You can anticipate the consolidation here. And when it goes low and goes up, you get in. Do not get in chasing the green because now you're upside down. And then what do? You sell at the bottom, you're buying at the top. That's how 90% of traders fail. And why else do they fail? They don't follow information that's factual. They follow it based on emotion. 2-minute, it's kind of in turmoil. 3-minute. All right, so the 3-minute's interesting. So the 3-minute, let's zoom up, stopped the drop below the 4. So it tested here, came back up, and now is here. We got 2 minutes and 30 seconds before the top of the hour. Things at the top of the hour tend to be a little squirrely because they're trying to anticipate the next move. What's going on the 5 minutes? 5 minutes, we had a big reversal from this peak, but we're still close to the 4. And we're still inside and above my little price point here. 10 and the 15. We're still up on the 10 and the 15. If those go both negative at the top of the hour, caution. 30 and 60 looks good, and the 90 and 2 hour. 3 minute. Where are we closing? Three minutes here. We close here. We drop down. 2 minute. We can decipher. Looking at the 2 minute, you kind of can interleave what's going on. So it's going to be 1 minute. 1 minute to the top of the hour. What is happening next? What's this next move? I'm just zooming in on the stock price on the shorter time frame. That's the low we need to take out. Boom, boom. We're still within our trend line. 3 minute chart, 30 seconds, top of the hour. Where is this gonna end up? Is it gonna do this, come down and keep going? Is this just a correction? We have a doji. We're above my little trend line that I made.
1 p.m.
All right, there we are. Let's look at the 5 minute. So the 5 minute closed below the 4. The 4 is going sideways. The price is now above the 2. Could zoom in and move around, see what's happening. The 3 is positive, the 2 is positive, the 5 isn't gonna make it. All right, 10, 15. Ooh, okay, so 10, there's the 4. So the 10-minute period, we didn't move much. We came back down. This is like a knee where they're trying to take it up. It's not going. They're giving up. Maybe it's just resting to get to the 4. This here, same thing for the past 15 minutes. And then if we look at the 30, 60, what do we see? The same thing. There's a lot of these charts are looking the same. So the 30 and the 60, we're going sideways, sideways. So 1 o'clock, let's see what happens. Don't know. Is it going to continue? Is it going to start correcting? Look at the 5 minute. We have this nice red, and we got to take that out with a green. Price close below. Low up here. 3 minute. Go to 2 minute. All right, so the 2 minute. Sideways up to the 4. Is this going to continue or is it going to drop on the 4? These two drop below the 2. We got an outside bar. That means they took it up, they took it down, but the bar is a 2 up. 2 up. If you're a strat person. Ooh. Where's the price? Oh, there you go. That's why I love Tesla. It's got some volatility. That's why you have to pay attention to the closing price and just hold steadfast. Whatever it's going to do, it's going to do. But being disciplined and play the closing price will put you in a better position than fear, greed, emotional plays. Because if they're programmed to buy, they're going to buy, especially if there's a huge dip. Someone gets scared, they sell, all of a sudden someone's going to buy those shares up, push the price up, and you're caught in the trap. The best time to do the trade is at the closing end or the beginning of the time period, depending on which one you're playing. You do it in the middle, you're going to be caught. You're in the middle of a candle. And let's look at the 5 minute. So if we played the 5 minute and we got in here, got in here, upside, it opened above, did this, but it came up closing up here, still closing above your entry point, and now it's here. What do we got? We got 5 minute up below the 4, no follow through below the 4. Here's follow through, boom. 3 minute correction, boom, boom, got up, take off. 2 minute. 2 minute, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 minutes up. No volatility. Here you had some volatility, but still it ended up here. We still got to take this out with a close. Are we going to do it? Well, I'm just going to leave it with you. We're going to put it on the 2 minute chart. Let's make it the 5 minute. That's less volatility. So watch this chart on the left for closing price. And then watch the one on the right, looking at your candles. Look at that nice movement up.